Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Just wanted to give you a quick tutorial on how I made this distressed kind of ink bleeding gradient effect stretchy text for my brand revamp. This is heavily inspired by a YouTuber Panther who gave me the bleeding type effect, and then I've also used Design Syndrome's free gradient pack. I'll have everything linked in the description, and finally the font as well, which is called Stretch. And so to begin, what you're going to want to do is type in your text, and so for example, I'm just going to do my name. So what I like to do is double up letters, and so what happens with this font is that when you put two letters next to each other, it stretches them out. And so some letters look better stretched than others. And so for example, double B, I'm not the biggest fan of, so I go 1B, double O, which works out, 1G, sorry, double E, or a double R. And then I'll go down, I'll do double W, I'll have it like that. I might double up the R, and then just do a normal H. I'm a big fan of that. And then what you're going to want to do is close it down if you can, so have the letters touching, because it helps with the effect. And so now you should have your text like this, where it's kind of like condensed, looking good. And Control T, so you can transform and really center it. Now what you're going to want to do is make it big enough where it's like on the edges, center it again, and now holding Shift, you're going to want to stretch your text to fill the entire thing. So in this case, I kind of like how it looks when it's shrunk like that, but stretched out. And so I might go to Image, Canvas Size. So if you don't like the size of your canvas, by the way, this is the easiest way to change it. And then I'm going to change the height to 250. Keep the width at 1000. Actually, I'm going to go 1500 on width, because I want to stretch it out long way instead of high. And so then it changes it like this, and then you'll see like it's blanked out. So go to your bottom layer, and then make sure that the top thing is the background color, and then go Alt, Backspace, and it just fills the entire thing. And so now, centering the text again, hold Shift, and then really drag that shit out. Make it fit as much as you can. To begin with, I'd leave a bit of a gap, because we're going to be doing an effect, a blur effect, which kind of creases the edges in. So for example, take the background, just in case. Take the background, holding Alt, drag out a little bit, just to have leeway. That way when it blurs, it doesn't like ripple the edges at all. Next up, you're going to take both your layers, so holding Shift, click on them both, then right click, and convert into Smart Object. So now both layers are in this little kind of, they're not like merged, they're just grouped whenever you do filters and shit. And so now, picking onto that, go Filter, Blur Gallery, Field Blur, and now this is where you get to play however you want to play. And so I'm going to place this here, I'm going to lower it a bit, tap another one here, lower it. I don't know why it's bugging like that. Ignore that. It shouldn't be happening to yours. Tap one there, and I want that to be low like that yet. But then I want this here to be like readable. And so you kind of got this really nice blurred look. I'm going to go for this one here and really blur that. And so now you press OK, and you just have your text looking like this. It's still like legible. You can still understand what's going on here, but it's really nice and like blurred. Holding on the layer again, you go Filter, Filter Gallery, and Graphic Pen. Let me just make this smaller. So on graphic pen, oh, sorry, actually, make sure to reverse this. You want black on top now, white on the bottom, which is opposite to what you wanted when you're making the background. So make sure black's on the top, white on the bottom. If you want, you can do other colors. Like for example, I could go for my green here, and then when I go filter gallery, it's going to change it to green, which could look really nice, but just for the tutorial, we'll keep it nice and black. Now go filter gallery. You'll see this effect going on where it's like the text is all disappearing and blurred and crazy. Now, the amount you set it to is depending on how much of the text you want to be legible and how much you don't. In this case, I want at least the outline of most of the letters. And so I'm going to have it to about there, where you can kind of still understand what's going on. Then you press OK, and now that's what it looks like. Next, you go back. So I click on the layer, go back, filter gallery. Now you're going to go torn edges. Torn edges is what you use to really finish up the effect. So keep the image balance normal. It's the smoothness that you want to change. And so, depending on what you're looking for, you can really make it distress and die down, or you can keep it up like that. I prefer more distressed, and so kind of around there is where I'll sit it. Contrast, I'd keep kind of just in the middle. Image balance, keep around 35, probably. And now you've got this really nice grungy text effect, and to really sell it, last but not least, you go Filter again, Noise, Add Noise, and I'd probably sit around somewhere around like 25 or 30 is probably pretty good. on uniform as well. Kind of makes it look like it's grungy and like back on the text. And then lastly, the last thing I usually add is I double click on the side here, just like where it's blank. And what that lets me do is open up layer style, where I'll go to gradient overlay and I'll tick that on. And then as you can see, it's already using the, and so what you're gonna want to do is pick the one that you want to use. I'd recommend Design Syndrome's free gradient packs. I use the toxic, and then I usually click on this one, and then I just drag this down so the white's not as prominent. For the style, I'd recommend lighten with an opacity filter, so put it to about 50%. I'd keep the scale linear, etc. And so then you have it looking like this. And it's kind of a finished project, to be fair. So that's the first style that you can do. It's pretty recreatable, so you can do it pretty fast. So if I just hide that, I go back, I make 2 layers. So I make 1 layer, I change that, Alt backspace, change it back, T, go back. I'm just gonna do one word for this one. Put it in the corner. I like to put it in the corner to begin with, and then shift drag to fill it, and then obviously I want to fill it even more, and so I just try and make it like that. Press done, go back, shift, hold them both, convert to smart object. For this one, what I'm going to try to do is make part of the text look normal, and then the rest of it go really blurred. So like for example, I want this side right here to be really blurred, but then over here is just normal. So I'm just going to add these like that, and then press OK. Make sure you're hovering over it again, go filter gallery, go graphic pen to start with. If you're seeing like these kind of like weird graphic looks into it, just put your light and dark balance higher, and then 3 is the sweet spot usually, because as you can see, if you go 2 it goes really thick, 4 as well. And so I find 3 works the best, and the last one it didn't for some reason. And so you do that, press OK, go back, filter gallery again, finish off with torn edges. This just cleans it up and gives it the really nice look we're going for. And so make sure that's nice and legible. As you can see, there's a bit of a blur there, whereas that thickens, which is kind of what we want for this one. So I'm going to leave it there. And so now we've got this. And then finally, the last thing you're going to do, noise, add noise, and then make it have that grunge look to it. And that's basically it. I hope that made sense, and I hope that was something that you were intrigued by. Huge fan of this style. As you've seen, I've done the full rebrand of my account with this. If you want more graphic design tutorials, make sure to look at Pantervision, Design Syndrome, or if you want, I'm happy to do any other tutorials you want to learn. I'm always learning more about graphic design. I love the work of it. I haven't done a Valorant thumbnail in a while, so I might work back on those for a while. But I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.